Here is the video on how to put your Annie A-line skirt pattern pieces together and how to put it on the fabric. So you can see that I have laid out and taped together all the pieces. So this piece right here is not necessary. It doesn't have any pattern pieces on it. I didn't tape it on. And all you have to do is follow, like this says 5B, and you just line it up with 5B, 4C, 4C. So I started over here, taped all these together, then I went and I taped these together, and I noticed I needed that one, so I taped that on, and which allowed me to tape all of these together. So just line up these lines, line up the grain lines, line up the lines that are going that way, and make sure it looks like all of the cut lines are also together. So the first thing after that you're going to do is then you're going to cut all of these pieces. There's 4. We have the number 1 front of the skirt, and we need to cut it on fold. And you'll notice that it has this line here with the arrows pointing to the edge, and then this is a back, and it says cut 2. And then here's our grain line. It's straight with no bends in it. So that means this does not have to go on the fold. This is the front waist facing. It's the inside part. And it also says cut 1 on fold. So this piece, even though the grain line doesn't show that, it needs to go on a fold. So that piece and that piece need to go on a fold. And then this number 4 is the back waist facing, and it's cut 2. And we need to, it does not need to go on the fold, but we need to make sure that these grain lines for 4 and for 2 line up with the selvage when we place it on there. So you've got it taped together. Make sure that where you will be cutting when you cut it on the fabric is taped together. And you don't necessarily need to tape these where we're not, it doesn't need to be together when it's on the fabric. So right here, don't think that you have to cut it out on the cut lines. Those cut lines are for putting it, putting it on the fabric and then cutting. So if you rough cut it, and I'm just going to get rid of some of this excess, but I want to make sure that right there is together. So this will help me place it on the fabric if I get rid of some of that excess. So there's 1, and you can see I didn't cut on any of these lines. I just cut roughly around it. And then I'm going to do that for this skirt back. So I've seen students cut on the line that they are cutting the fabric on, and it takes them twice as long because you're basically cutting it out twice. So you don't need to do that. Just rough cut it again. I do this where it's all taped together right there. So there's my back piece. So I have those 2. Then I can do this one. Get rid of that excess. And get rid of this excess here. And over here. Okay, see, it's not taking very long. I've got 3 pieces cut out, and then this one really is its own piece. So there we go, and I don't need that any longer. So now I'm going to place these on my fabric and lay that out, and I'm using this again. you're going to need to find a nice flat spot. Obviously, I'm on the floor because it's the easiest. And if you look at the directions on your packet, it should tell you how to lay it out. I'm looking for that. Here we go. Here is our fabric layout. And if you have really, really wide fabric, this one will work, but mostly when you buy fabric, it's 45 inch, and so this one will work right here. So I'm going to place it on there. Sort of like that. Let's see if that works. I have washed this. My edges are still good to go. Well, my sample fabric isn't big enough. It's almost big enough. So if I'm making a 10, I'm cutting here, and so it can cross over because there's my cut line right there, so I can actually move it up, and I think I can. Just about get both of them on here. Oh, that's fantastic. So those are the two pieces you would place first, and then I need to put this also on the fold. And again, this black line is not my cut line, it's this one right here, so this will fit on here just fine, placing that on the fold. And then this can go over here. So what I would do, like I did with the apron, is these are the two I'm going to be worried about, are these two that aren't on the fold. So I just put a pin in to the end of the arrows, take my tape measure, and measure to the selvage, and I've got like 12 and 1/8, and I move that one down. That's fantastic. So let's see, and I'm going to cut out, I think I'm cutting out a 12. I just put my finger on the tape measure and then move it over. Pretty good. It just needs to come here. So then I would go ahead and pin this one down, and again, just like on the apron, know where your lines are, pin inside, and then watch which number you're going to be doing. I'm doing a 12, so I need to pin in here. I wouldn't pin like right at the edge. It just makes cutting it a little bit harder. So, like here's my 12. I don't need, never pin on the line again because you are going to be cutting it out. Now here, along this straight edge, I'm going to pin, and then I'm going to pin in here too. So then I'm going to do the same with all of these pieces. And once I get it cut out, I will then mark my darts, which you will need to do with tracing paper, some sort of marking tool. You may need to go to the store and get some tracing paper and a tracing wheel, which, don't know if those were on our vocab or not, but I will put something in Google Classroom so that you know what they are, and there are videos of mine to watch about marking. So get that done, and then you will be ready to follow the directions.